What is up, everybody? Back with my top 10 black metal albums of 2023 list here. Ton of great releases in black metal this year, so very, very tough to narrow this down for me. Finally got my top 10 favorites ready to go. Gonna count them down as I usually do, 10 to 1, and I will give some honorable mentions at the end as well. Here we go. Starting off the list at number 10 is The Ritual by the band Triglav. It is a one-man project. The guy's name is Boris Behera. He is originally from Croatia, then ended up in Italy, and then earlier this year moved over to Norway. So he's been all around, makes some really great black metal. He is a great musician. He does all the instruments on this album, the songwriting. He has a session guy come in for the vocals named Callum Wright, and it said he was from the UK, so he has a great voice. I love the guitar tone on this album. Great playing throughout. Some really, really great riffs and melodies on this. The Ritual, the title track here, is one of my favorite songs from the year. Just very majestic, very catchy, very awesome. That was the one that introed this album here a minute ago that y'all heard the clip of. A couple other standout tracks are The Vengeance and The Plague for me, but top to bottom, really, really solid album. Number 10, The Ritual by Triglav. Next up at number 9 is Reaching Beyond Desire by the band Outlaw. Super cool stuff here. These guys are from Brazil. It's their third full-length studio album. They do have a guy in the band from Finland, actually, the drummer, Tommy Takela, or however his name is pronounced. But the guy's an absolute machine. Love the drumming on this. A lot of great guitar playing. The riffs are just majestic. Some of this actually reminds me of a band I really like called Achilles, or however they're pronounced, Achilles, but killer stuff in that style in parts of this album, like especially on the song Bliss of Soul. Just majestic and kind of atmospheric and creepy and dark. Just all the stuff you want in black metal. A couple of the other standout tracks, I'd probably go with Everything Becomes Nothing and The Serpent's Chant, but love a lot of this. Really, really great album. Reaching Beyond Desire, Outlaw, number 9. Next up at number 8 is the new one from Aligal. Killer stuff here. Got the title on the screen there. It's in Finnish, so got no chance of saying that one. But I love this band. They're one of my favorite black metal bands of all time. One of the most underrated black metal bands. Been around since the late 90s. This is their 12th full length. A lot of great stuff from them. Of Beasts and Vultures from 2002 is just a great classic black metal album. Omega, Nemesis, a couple of the other standouts. And this one here definitely can stand right alongside those great classic albums. Narkoth, the leader of the band, he does guitar. Love his tone, the riffs, the melodies this guy makes are so catchy and majestic and awesome. He writes all the songs, of course. And they've got a new vocalist on this album, first one he's been on. The name he's credited on the album as is, he's just called 13 is his name, so I'll go with that. He does a great job on the vocals, like his voice a lot. As far as the songs go, there are 11 of them. It's about 38 minutes long, so not super long songs, which I enjoy sometimes. Sometimes black metal songs, I would say, probably are too long. The albums will be like an hour long. This one's short and sweet. It's really enjoyable all the way through. Probably would say the first 2 tracks, the 4th and the 5th, are my favorite songs on it, but again, really, really great most of the way through, and definitely one of my favorites here at number 8, the new one from Aligal. Next up at number 7 is Into the Outer Wilderness by the band Gitner. I absolutely love these guys. They're from Sweden, been around since 2007. First album came out in 2012, and since then they've been an absolute machine, releasing 9 albums in that span, so almost an album a year since 2012 when they put out their debut. There's 2 guys, from what I can tell, because they're kind of like this mysterious thing. They don't really put out too much information that I can tell. But Modrius and 9TL, it doesn't say who does what, who does the vocals, but those are the 2 guys in the band. They absolutely kill it. This one here, very, very strong, melodic. Love the guitar riffs. The vocals are a major standout for me. Just this raspy, evil, crazy, aggressive vocal style that is just very unique and dark and creepy. and just absolutely awesome. Love all these songs, but a couple of the standouts, I'd probably go with the title track from A Thousand Ages Lost and Seekers of Fire. Killer album here. Into the Outer Wilderness, Gitner, number 7. Next up at number 6 is The Nighthold by Vargrav. Another great band from Finland. This is their 3rd full length, and it is the first with Werewolf on vocals, so was really looking forward to this. Werewolf, of course, the mastermind behind Satanic Warmaster, got their flag up behind me. This is their album from last year, Amangander, which was my number 1 album of 2022, so I was really looking forward to this album here with Werewolf doing the vocals, and he doesn't disappoint. Just got one of the best and most unique, powerful voices in all of black metal, I think. The guy's a mastermind when it comes to writing and making black metal, so the addition of him was big for Vargrav, I think. Everybody else in the band puts out great performances. Love the keyboards on this. Helps add to that atmosphere, which this is a lot different than Satanic Warmaster, I would say. A lot more of a symphonic black metal style. The keyboards make it sound like kind of like medieval vampire castle type of feeling to it, which I think is really cool. Love that atmosphere. It's really aggressive. A lot of great guitar work. Love the vocals, as I said, from Werewolf. And looking at these songs, a couple of the standouts. Again, love all of it, but Through the Woods of Breathing Shadows, Chalice of Silver and Blood, The One Who Lurks Beyond the Starscape, and A Dark Consecration. A couple of my standout tracks for the album, but killer start to finish. The Nighthold by Vargrav, number 6. Next up at number 5, I've got War Against All by Immortal. The mighty Immortal. Freaking love them. You know, Immortal, they've had some internal conflicts within the band over the past few years, as I'm sure many of you know. But I must say that Demonaz, I think when it comes to the last 2 Immortal albums versus the couple of solo Abath albums, Immortals are just better. So I don't know if Demonaz is just the superior songwriter. Probably true. He plays great guitar on these last 2 albums. His vocals, I know Abath is, you know, usually the face and what everybody thinks of when they think of Immortal, but I think the vocals even on these last 2 from Demonaz have been almost as good as those classic Abath vocals. Still love Abath, but Demonaz just absolutely killing it, and this album is just fantastic start to finish. Very classic Immortal feel on a lot of this. The title track is just thrashy, chaotic, heavy, catchy, and amazing. That is my favorite on this album, that title track, but No Sun's a really great one. Return to Cold, you got a really great classic Immortal feel. Blashirk, My Throne, of course, sounds very similar to Blashirk, Mighty Ravendark. So some odes to the classic songs on here, some really great stuff. That title track, again, if you're going to listen to anything, check that out. Just killer stuff. Immortal, War Against All, my number 5. Next up at number 4, I've got Fürwaltz by the band Minenwerfer. Just insane album here. Super heavy, brutal, chaotic, mind-blowing. Just absolutely awesome, I think. Love the chaoticness and the heaviness of it. Minenwerfer, that is German for mine thrower. So it's got like a World War I theme to it. The band does. They are, surprisingly, they're from America. They're from Sacramento, California. I would have figured they were from Europe or Germany or somewhere over there. But the album itself, very war-themed. It starts off with some war sounds to open it up on the song Cemetery Field, some gunshots, and then it transitions into just a mind-blowing, chaotic, heavy song. The title track is amazing, and all the way through, it's just absolutely brutal and awesome. Really like it a lot. Yeah, that's my number 4, Fürwaltz by Minenwerfer. Coming in at number 3, I've got Enlightenment Through Impurity by the band Primordial Serpent. Very awesome stuff here, and it's actually kind of tough for me to choose which one of these albums by this band I wanted to include because they've put out 3 this year, Adversary of God and Spawn of Eternal Hellfire by them. Also, very close to making it. They are honorable mentions, so just going to give 2 early honorable mentions there. But this one, of the 3 that this band has put out, I think is the best this year. And it's honestly insane. Since 2020, 9 albums, if I was looking at it right. A lot of great stuff there. The guy's name is Jeff Coran. It's actually just a one-man project. So this guy does all of it, and he's put out an insane amount of albums in the last 3 years. Very impressive, and they're all good. Good stuff. Looking at these, just great classic sounding black metal. Very brutal, evil, melodic at times. Great vocals, great guitar work. Through Torment and Fire, great one. The title track is really awesome, and probably a Ritual of Dedication are a couple of my standout tracks on this. But again, great from start to finish. There's a lot of good albums from this band just from this year, but this one is my favorite. Enlightenment Through Impurity, Primordial Serpent, number 3. Coming in at number 2 is In the Land of Ghosts by Old Throne. Really cool band from New Zealand. Really dig this album. I think it's got some really great, unique instrumentation, some very epic build-ups and intros to songs, specifically on Isabel. That is just one of the most epic, amazing intros I've ever heard, to be honest. I don't know exactly what instruments are being used. Sounds kind of like an acoustic guitar and maybe a keyboard, but I'm not entirely sure. And then the next track, Cliffs of Colzian, very epic, like bagpipe sounding instrument, kind of building it up. Scara, Bray, another really great song on here, really from top to bottom. Love this one. Very catchy, awesome, memorable songs. Especially, I just love Isabel so much on here. Harrison McKenzie is the main man behind this band. The 2 albums so far, and this one I think is just really amazing. In the Land of Ghosts by Old Throne, my number 2 on the year for black metal. Now, some honorable mentions, as I said, those 2 Primordial Serpent albums that I didn't include are honorable mentions from this year. I think American Gothic by Wayfarer is a really awesome, unique album as well. It kind of blends like Western outlaw country almost with black metal, which is a super cool blend, and it works with the way they do it. Also really like the Aura album from this year, Triad 3 NYX. Really love Shooter's album from this year. Trying to find what else I had. There's a little predicament I had when making this list. There was 3 bands that include like first wave black metal elements, but also just some traditional and thrash. So I didn't include them. Those being Hellripper, Malakarpatan, and Sadistic Force. They were all, in the conversation, in my thoughts for this, but decided to leave them off because, like, they have other elements of different styles that I thought just weren't quite entirely black metal, so I left them off the list. But they're all very good. We'll give honorable mentions anyways, and maybe they'll be on my overall top 10 metal albums of the year list. But that is all I had for honorable mentions, and on to my number 1. Taking the number 1 spot is Horned Lord of the Thorned Castle by Moonlight Sorcery. Great band from Finland here. This is their first full-length. They've had a few EPs come out in the past, but this is the first full-length album, and it's just amazing. It blends a couple of styles. It's got those symphonic elements with the keyboards that are really cool. Great atmosphere on this album. Some very great melodic moments on here, and just the guitar playing is definitely the standout on here for me. Really love the vocals as well. The guy's got a great voice. But the guitar playing is like top-tier virtuoso shred. Almost doesn't even make sense to have that on a black metal album, but the way they do it just works so perfectly. I absolutely love it, because anybody that's seen my channel in the past knows that I love those shred guitar players like Yngwie, Paul Gilbert type of guys, Marty Friedman, and this guy is like that type of guitar player, but it's on a black metal album. Just absolutely mind-blowing. Love a lot of these songs, but that first track on here, To Withhold the Day, definitely, I'd probably say is my favorite. Love the instrumental on here. It really showcases that just crazy elite guitar playing from this guy. The Moonlit Dance of the Twisted Jesters, Blood-Soaked Rituals is the name of that instrumental. Very long title, but pretty cool. And probably Fire Burns the Horizon are the standout tracks for me. But again, great album, start to finish. My number 1 black metal album of the year, Horned Lord of the Thorned Castle by Moonlight Sorcery. So I think, yeah, Finland just kind of dominated the list. 3 or 4 albums from Finnish bands, but hey, they know how to make black metal over there. And yeah, those are my 10 favorite black metal albums of the year. Give me yours in the comments. Let me know what you thought about my list. And until next time, thank you guys for watching.